And all the other students were writing in the margins. They were writing about the symbolism. They were writing about the imagery, the symbolic imagery. I didn't know what to write. I didn't know what they were writing. So I took little drops of water and I would drop them on the pages of the book, which made the book crinkle up so it looked like I was using it. Dyslexia. Could I ever be successful? Could I ever shake hands with my dream? Could I ever be who I wanted to be? I didn't think so. You know, you apply to college, you apply to 3 schools, your strong school, your safety school, your kind of like middle school. 24 schools, ladies and gentlemen. I wrote so many essays, I didn't even know who I was anymore. I got into 2 schools. I got into Park University in Missouri, which I'm convinced is just like a doorway because I never met anybody who went to Park University in Missouri. It's like somewhere on the prairie. And I got into Emerson College in Boston. And I nearly got kicked out my first year. But I took so many tours around for the administration office, they said, you know what, he's such a nice guy, we'll let him stay. And then in my senior year, I don't know where I got the nerve, I auditioned for the Yale Drama School. And I got, in the spring, I got a phone call, would you like to join us at the Yale School of Drama? Me, I got into Yale. How could I get into Yale? I'm stupid. I'm not living up to my potential. So I ran down to the student union. I told everybody I know, I got into Yale. This was unbelievable. I threw the windows open, I yelled out to Boston, I got into Yale. And then when I went home, it cost me $53 because I had locked myself out. I had to get a locksmith and they had to break down the door. And so then I got to Yale. This was great. I got to Yale and there were 24 actors that were let into the program. 24 actors, and we're sitting, you know, like you are in front of the dean of students. He said, look to your left, look to your right. One of you will not be here next September. I went home and packed. I knew that this man was talking directly to me. He doesn't even know me yet, but he must be talking to me. The habit of negative feelings is in every facet of our life, and these negative feelings, and you know them, she'll not go out with me, he won't go out with me, I'll never get the job, I'll never be anybody, I can't, I won't, they won't. They pervade our brain. And unless we align ourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually, they will defeat us. These negative feelings will defeat us. And this is what I've learned. There is no nutritional value in a negative thought. So then I started reading this philosopher. His name was Gurdjieff. But see, what it is, he writes his books with such complication, because if you don't get it, he doesn't want you to finish. So I listened to him, I closed the book, I put it away. I didn't know what he was talking about. So then I read a disciple of his, Ouspensky, who said, here it is, don't put a period on the end of a negative thought. When those thoughts come into your head, I can't, I won't, she won't, I'll never be able to get it. Say, excuse me, I have no time for you now. And believe it or not, the distance between having the negative thoughts and stopping them cold so that you can continue on your path will get shorter and shorter and shorter. Just don't put a period on the end of a negative thought. Don't make it into a sentence. The sentence will become a paragraph. The paragraph will become a thesis of negativity. If you just stop the thought dead and say, I have no time for you now, it will not stop you from getting where you want to go. I know this because I started to live it. So then I graduated from Yale and I went to New York to work in the theater, and I auditioned for my first commercial, close-up toothpaste. I have very nice teeth. This is Dr. Zimmerman in New York, put a lot of metal on my teeth when I was 13. So I went to close-up toothpaste, I walk into the office, and there are all of these actors. They're about 10 feet tall, they're all blonde, very handsome, and every one of them is named Chad. Well, I think there was one Troy. And I thought to myself, why did my agent send me here? What am I doing here? Don't they know who these people want? And then I thought to myself, look, you've trained to do what you do, you know what to do, you know who you are, you just go in there and do the best you can. And I did, I got the job. I beat out every Troy, every Chad. And I didn't have jeans with like pressed creases down and these big belt buckles that all these guys were wearing. And I made enough money to go to California, and I was going to go for 1 month. I was just going to see what it was like, you know, because I wasn't going to stay for long. I'm kind of short, I've got a big nose, and I thought, you know, I'll just go and see what it's like. And I auditioned for one show when I was there, and I walked in, I had long hair down to my shoulders at that time, and I had a gigantic sweat stain. And I said, you see, this is how nervous I am. And I went and I did what I knew how to do. And they called me up on my birthday, and they said, would you like to play Arthur Fonzarelli? I said, listen, if you let me play the other side of him, when he takes his leather jacket off at home, who does he have to be cool for? You let me show the human side to this guy, it will be my pleasure. Where I got the nerve to talk to the producer like this, I don't know. They said okay, I said okay, and I did the show for 11 years, and I had an unbelievably great time. If you will it, it is not a dream. You know, there is a beautiful Chinese proverb that says, the flowers of all our tomorrows are in the seeds of today. Now, I'm very lucky. I'm married to a very powerful red-headed woman, Stacy. We have 3 children. I have a 25-year-old stepson who wants to be emperor. I have a daughter. I can't tell you how old she is because you might know somebody she talks to on the phone. So she's anywhere from 16 to 19. And I have a 13-year-old son, Max. And my job as a parent, it seems, is to make sure that they grow up with a stronger self-image than I had when I was growing up. And growing up in the 90s is so complicated. It's so difficult. When I was younger, you could just steal a kiss. Now you kiss and you can die. It's unbelievable. I think that being a parent is the most difficult job on the face of the earth. I think that you have to be unbelievable, bar none. I think that you have to be a life guide, a teacher, a student.